on TV.
No, right Canada, right Canada. For their beady little eyes and flapping heads up on the lies. Right Canada.
Great.
Okay.
Hello, music multiversal listeners. Welcome to Beyond Your Radio's You Should Listen To. That's right. It's a hashtag. I'm screwed. No one's going to pay attention to any of this. I'm your host and creator, Beyond Your Radio, Mark Kulagowski, and honorary Canadian. Yeah, I've been saying that all day. Still no one's replied. What are we doing here tonight? Well, we're strengthening ours and your musical connection, or your collection if you don't have these. Put a little breath in your listening habit. And to do so, on this special day, on the Northern Friends from the Leaf, we're going to showcase Canadian albums only. That's right. We're turning Canadian broadcasters right now. Only Canada will be played today. Listen, it could be new to you, but it's something that you should listen to. It is hard to listen to everything from Saskatoon to Mooshaboom. Oh, yeah, it's an actual place. Look it up. All right?
I want to live there. Let's go.
Yeah. You'll find two songs, one by Johnny Cash, the girl from Saskatoon, and Feist's Mushaboom. Yeah. And no, Mr. Cash is not a Canadian. You don't have to look that up. Those of you who know what I do on this channel, what we do on this channel, you know what we're trying to do. So I'll try to move on. There's music. This is exposure to audio you may not be aware of, any genre, any style. Sort of, if you like this, you may want to try this. Or when I'm doing it, you'll try this, damn it, and you'll like it. But maybe we play a snippet of it, and your audio curiosity is piqued, and away we go. On the panel tonight, the last time she was in Canada, it was for Sarah Celine and Jackson Triggs, and the rest is history. It's in the court order, sealed. Damn, Deb Armenton Chicks Maloney. The last time he was in Canada, we were negotiating a 3-pound tri-tip in the back of my car. That's right, the Grateful Dude. And we didn't get stopped at customs because it smelled good. Although we weren't cooking it in there, we were marinating it, so I don't know why it smelled. He's still missing a red hooded sweatshirt from the Great Canadian Party of 2001 or 2002. I can't remember. Neither can he. Jeff Young.
It wasn't really mine, and I come tariff-free, by the way.
Tariff-free.
Oh, my God. There's nothing quite like the Mandarin Buffet and Matthew Good, says Susie Q. Oh, Bob Cajun. He didn't know how good barbecued bobcat could be until he went. Steve.
Take off, Jay.
Oh, God. Which one do I want to use here? Both of these are embarrassing. Let's go. He's still got his heart set on nice beachfront property in Vulcan, Alberta. Live long and prosper. Alex Kaluzny. That everybody? Dear God. Okay. That's exhausting.
Are we done yet?
Are we done yet? Okay. That's the show. Thanks for playing.
Okay, we're ready?
Okay. We're going to start off with Alex Kaluzny.
So I went with the 2018 release of Civilianaires by the Trews.
Okay.
Almost went with the Trews, but I did not.
I know I've talked about this album, I think maybe in the past as one of my favorites that they've done. I know it got released to some pretty good success, but
What to do with the acts of monstrous men? Me and you, us and them. The little man who isn't home. His little hands on the drones. I'll stand up with the wounded nation. And fight with righteous indignation. So many.
I think it's got a good blend in this of not so much the same genre of rock that's just constantly up tempo, but this mixes in some really good lyrics. Adds a little bit of depth with some tracks in there, and I think it slows down the pace in a way though that just kind of lets you sit and relax and sets the scene for a good time in an Adirondack chair with a Molson and your favorite flannel.
And a 2.
Yeah.
It's still a little summer vibey today for Canada.
Oh, are you? Okay. You
No, it's always cold in Canada.
But no, great album. I think it's understated in their catalog, and quite honestly, after just seeing them at the Albright Knox recently playing with the Beaches, pretty excited for the upcoming album too. That's partially the reason I wanted to mention them, was with that coming up, and some of the new tracks already sound pretty good live. So
It's always great to hear the new stuff, live before on an album and say the hashing it out. I love that. The Tragically Hip used to do that constantly when we went to see them.
well, and I think another thing that makes this band special for those who don't know too is they sound just as good live as studio. So you kind of
True.
feel like you're getting an accurate depiction of what's to come. So yeah, I'm excited for what's to come there, but this album's worth revisiting in the meantime. And a great Canada Day ad.
Nice. All right. The chef, Jeff, the Grateful Dude. What have you brought?
So I searched people I've seen, because I try and go with people I've seen, because then it shows who they really are. And I'm going back to way, way back, 1974. I saw them in 75. 74 is their last album. The album name is Skullduggery. It's a great album. If I can remember his name. It's done by a group that's they're Canadians, all of them, but they formed in Los Angeles in 1967.
That was cool when I played in school for all my family. Had a smile for quite a while, but now I finally see.
Look
By
at it.
Steppenwolf.
Look it up.
Steppenwolf.
Nice.
Yeah.
That must have been good live.
They were excellent live. I saw them and Eric Burden and the Animals at the same time. Same show. They were very tight. I remember this album that I picked out for you. I've listened to a few times in the last couple of days to make sure it was still in my memory, and I've heard all the songs on it live, so it was a real good thing.
Johnny K have a connection to
Mhm.
Buffalo somehow.
Oh,
I could have I don't know. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember. I know he was like he was born in Germany, I think, or something like that. But but yeah, that's that album cover. It's
It's
76. You're looking at that going, oh man, this is gonna be some sort of a cult, thing. Yeah.
yeah. Well, they were fairly stoned when I saw them in 75. Fairly stoned.
Yeah.
oh God.
Takes
Everybody
one-
was.
Yeah.
But if you guys like the blues and gritty blues,
Yeah, hard rockers blues.
yep,
do.
you
I
guys
like
will
Steppenwolf.
like
I
them.
just don't know what songs are on that album.
On that album, well, the title track is they actually did a song called Skullduggery.
Skullduggery was great.
Yeah, I
Um,
can't remember which were out there, but you had
I'm a Roadrunner is on it.
yeah,
Lip service, sleep, pass that on. Life is a gamble, and trains of thought. None of the big ones.
right.
I just happen to like the song Skullduggery a lot.
Yeah, I don't think that album didn't but that Skullduggery is the only one I remember.
Mark, Johnny K. They lived in Toronto, But his family moved to Buffalo, New York, where they
Okay.
became
Oh,
U.S. citizens.
Yeah. The funny part
I
is
asked the Google.
the only guy who's not from Canada is the art director, drum and percussion guy, backing vocals, Jerry Edmonton. So he's named after Edmonton, but he's from California.
That's
yeah,
funny.
well,
It works. It
what can you
works.
say?
Oh, it's a great pick. It's a good pick. All right. Damn.
Oh, it's my turn.
Welcome back to the program. You better be there on Saturday, damn it. All right.
Oh, I will be. I will be. So, anyways, if you like theatrics, if you like macabre, if you like cinematic sweeping storytelling, Nina Simone, Bowie, Prince, folk meets westerns meets James Bond, you might like this band. They're originally from Brooklyn, Ontario, which is just northeast of Toronto near Oshawa. They're called Timber Timber. Taylor Kirks, who is the lead, he started some solo recording, and he actually came up with the name of the band because those recordings were done in a timber framed log cabin in a place that was made famous by the tragically hip Bob Cajun. The second part of their name, Timber, remember it's Timber Timber. Timber is also a reference to tone color. So what makes, say, a C sharp on a piano sound different than a C sharp on a saxophone? So a little play on words there. The name of the album is Hot Dreams. It was from 2014. Their inspiration comes from movies, documentaries, TV series, and some of their music has been featured on things like Orange is the New Black, um, Wild Wild Country, which is a documentary about the uh, Indian cult guy that started a whole commune in Oregon. And one of the songs from this album was in that documentary, and I love documentaries.
Up beside you, I want to be a champion in your eyes, and I want to follow through on all my promises and threats to you, babe.
But what makes this band interesting is the instruments, they've got the usual suspects, the guitars, tambourine, just regular old whatever you would think of. But this is folk meets electronica a little bit. There's organs and the mellotron and tubular bells, lap steel guitar, saxophone, strings. And they're very known for using their vocals as an instrument that morphs into whatever song that they're doing. So they kind of use intentionally their voices changing to fit whatever that theme of that song is. And on this particular album, one of the songs is Beat the Drum Slowly. That is a vintage Western cowboy sound. It's spaghetti Western, but not cheesy. One of the other songs, Curtains, has a Bowie feel. So that cinematic, David Bowie was, all about the show. And Bring Me a Simple Man, James Bond. I thought I was watching, some kind of Sean Connery thing going
I
on,
was
but
wondering when you were going to get to the James Bond part because now
definitely,
I'm
right?
intrigued. I don't remember that album, so I'm
You
gonna.
don't?
I don't.
Oh, it's better than the one that I had picked first, way better. But the album that I had first picked, Creep on Creeping On,
Mhm.
that was way more horror
Mhm.
film type stuff, and
Mhm.
they really draw from very artsy, off the beaten path films, and one in particular they really like, Rosemary's Baby. And that Creep On Creepin' On album really felt like Rosemary's Baby. This album I liked better.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more rounded out, and I think you should give it a try. If you like to close your eyes and feel like you're in a movie, this feels like it when you listen to this album. It's really different, awesome, and fun.
Timber.
Timber.
All right. Susie Q.
Okay, so
Wait, do we get to change her name for today to Susie QEW?
Yes.
oh,
Oh,
QEW.
we heard she's fast.
Yes. She gets it done.
okay,
Fast as
I'll
type-
allow that.
That was good, Alex.
That was good. Okay, so if you like music to zone out to,
On the QEW.
Yes.
while
You're an
driving
accident
down
waiting to
QEW,
happen.
It's not just the Ontario plates. It's whatever Sue's listening to.
I think I probably have more Ontario plates down here in the winter than you do up there.
It's true.
Really?
Anyways,
That's
proceed.
interesting. Okay, so zoning out, but not while you're driving. It's mellow, I would say, but not, it doesn't go into the boring side of things, I don't think. And kind of a little bit off the beaten path, but not artsy. Well, not that there's anything wrong with artsy, but it's it's music that it's music. It's not just okay. Anyway. So I I hate disparaging different genres, but anyway. So Salad Days is the name of the album. And this is new to me. I wanted to try something new. Instead of going back to one, because I have a million favorite Canadians. So Mac DeMarco is the artist behind Salad Days. He was born in the ancient early 1990s. And I believe he grew up in Edmonton, but I'm not 100% positive on that. I guess in trying to place his voice, it's really hard. The closest thing that came to mind after the first listen was actually Julian Lennon.
Spend some time away, getting ready for the day you're born again. Spend some time alone, understand that soon you'll run with better men.
But not really though, like a little tiny shade of. But then when I started to do a little bit research, names like John Lennon came up, Neil Young, didn't catch that at all. Harry Nilsson. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with those or not, but that's about as close as I could get it. The album came out in 2014. He recorded the entire thing himself in an apartment in Brooklyn, New York. So I think I'm kind of drawn. I'm noticing that I'm kind of drawn to artists that kind of do everything themselves, but
Like you.
like me. Yeah, so it's got vocals, guitar, keyboard, synthesizer, bass guitar, drums. He did the production, recording, mixing. So for those people who like super great production, this might not be for you. You can kind of tell that it's not, fine tuned, but it's enjoyable, I think. I'm not really sure what to say about it other than like I'm having a super stressed full time in my life right now, and it's perfect music to just put on and you don't have to think too deeply about it. You can even work to it because it's not distracting. And it's a nice listen. I didn't get to read too much about him, but he is an advocate. He does suffer from, I believe, anxiety and depression. So I believe his music is one way he works through it. And I don't know how many other albums he may have out, but he is releasing a new one in August called Guitar, and I think he's doing a big tour gig. So yeah, it was a nice find, I think. Probably not for everybody.
Yeah, I never heard of
He
him.
does have a
Me
very
neither.
distinct voice. It's very light. It's a very light sounding voice, but I think it's worth a listen.
Not know him in any way, shape, or form, but I do see that there's quite a few articles on. He was nominated for the Polar Prize in 2014. That's usually a long list of people, but to get notarized for that, that's good.
Yes.
So yeah, so there's a lot of community there.
Cool.
I think NME said that it was it was the second best album of 2014, which is
Mm.
that's pretty big praise coming from 2014.
I
Okay,
agree.
that's what I'm going to check out. Now I got 2 to check out.
Nice.
Nice. This is working out great. All right, Steve, with that Gord Downey background.
There it is.
Yeah. And I also got to give proper props to Alan Doyle.
There you go.
The pride of Petty Harbor, Newfoundland.
Ooh.
So I, like Alex, went back to 2018 for an album that was nominated for a Juno for Rock Album of the Year, and the band was nominated for Group of the Year. I'll give you a little bit about the band and then the album. They were formed in 2004 as the Breaks, a group of 3 that went to university at the University of Saskatchewan, as the Canadians call it, and found that blues rock was their forte. They like to believe that they were a bit of a fusion between Led Zeppelin and Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. But in listening to them and having listened to them and been to see them a few times, I think that their style comes from a wider range of artists. They're an independently spirited group of guys. They put their first few studio albums out on their own and released them low budget just to get their name out in Canada between the years of 2007 and 2011. One of those albums found their way to Atlantic Records by happen chance, which led to a winning appearance on the cover of the August 18th of 2011 cover of Rolling Stone magazine. When they won the Do You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star contest. That exposure led to their self-titled major label debut album, which they recorded in Nashville, and Rolling Stone dubbed it as a taut, sun-beaten boogie album. That success led to a re-release of one of those DIY albums that they had done back in that period of 2007 to 2011. And that album became the Juno winner for Rock Album of the Year. It got them Best New Group of the Year and Single of the Year for the song I Don't Know. Fair to say that their lead singer, Ewan Curry's style is borrowed from the chops of, I like to say, Dan Auerbach of the Black Keys. And thank God Ray Geska isn't on this panel tonight, because I will say he sounds a lot like Paul Rogers from Bad Company, and I know Ray would call blasphemy on that, but I really think he does. In 2013, they performed the opening ceremonies of the Grey Cup. In 2015-16, their song "Feeling Good" was the goal song of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that "Feeling Good" song, the opening riff of that, is an homage to Norman Greenbaum's Spirit in the Sky. Sounds exactly like it.
Yeah, that's something I would agree with completely. Yeah.
Saskatchewan's boys, the Sheepdogs, can best be described as a psychedelic fusion between the Allman Brothers with some hints of the Eagles and Creedence thrown in for good measure. In knowing their albums like I do, I went to the 2018 classic Changing Colors as the one that would give someone a taste of the band and their incredible repertoire. 17 songs, including HMS Buffalo, which you literally would think got stolen from a peach truck in Macon, Georgia. It sounds exactly like the
Really?
The song Nobody is very Steve Miller Bandish.
I ain't cool. I never was. I just faked it till it felt good enough. I ain't cool through and through. I just faked it till I made it come true. What can I do? Don't you know I'm waiting for a woman like you?
And the big hit on the album is "I Got a Hole Where My Heart Should Be," which I think pays homage to all kinds of '70s classic rock, end to end in that song. The Sheepdogs have struck a formula with solid bluesy rock. They play around here occasionally. They were at Borderland last year.
Yeah, they were.
They're a great concert band. And I like them as I do a lot of driving. I'm a Finger Lakes kid, and I grow up there, and I go back there a lot. My son's there. I put the Sheepdogs in and can listen to them for 4 hours and not miss a beat.
Does that make you want to drive slower so you have to listen to them more?
100%.
I'm going to take the scenic route.
I grew up on the Allman Brothers, and coming here and getting in tune with Canadian music. The Sheepdogs were an easy fit into what I like, and I think I really think for people, you should listen to the Sheepdogs, and this would be a good starter album to get you on the way.
Well put.
Agreed.
Phenomenal choice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Here.
Sue, you brought them up on a show, your live album, right?
Yeah, that was a while ago, right?
Yeah, the Live at Lee's is.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't want to do a live album again in fear of Ray being on here and going, "You can't pick a live album." So I went with a studio. You'll notice a trend with me on here that I'm trying to make sure that Ray doesn't call me out. But yeah, the Live at Lee's album is fantastic. And it's just like their concerts. I mean, people just get into their music, and yeah, I love them. They're great. And I love our Canadian coast music. The hip is right there for me, and the Trues and Blue Rodeo and Great Big Sea, and I go to see Alan Doyle. But this Sheepdogs album, it's a killer.
And I love it. The things that you called out for the wheelhouse of that album and where it would be are where a lot of people are trapped.
Yep.
Allman Brothers, Creedence Clearwater. Yes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand 735 hits for Creedence or whatever, but yeah. I get it. But there are people that do it well, and you'll love it too. And
right.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Great
right.
pick. Great pick.
Thank you.
And well delivered.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mr. Young.
Well, it doesn't get any more Canadian than this. I picked Bruce Springsteen. No,
Good job.
Very free think out there, Jeff.
I went with an album from 2012, and it is Dead Silence from Billy Talent. And the reason I picked this, there's so many great bands or artists I could have picked from. The reason I picked this is just because I remember it being an album that I was really anticipating. And Billy Talent 3 was such an amazing album. I was like, please don't be such a letdown. And it wasn't. It was really good. Now, Billy Talent 3 is probably still a little better, but I mean, for an album that has 14 tracks and 6 singles off of it, and they probably could have had another 3 or 4 singles if they wanted to. It's just a really solid album. I mean, it's very kind of in the vein of like Offspring, Sum 41, maybe even like Green Day or Papa Roach. But even if you don't like those bands, you probably would like this. Would be a good starter album if you're not really into those bands. But the original band name was Pez, and they changed their name to Billy Talent, named after the fictional character in the Michael Turner hardcore logo book.
Oh,
Movie, which also featured Hugh Dillon of Headstones as one of the lead characters. Hugh Dillon, of course, was also in Kevin Costner's Yellowstone. But anyway, so the album itself explores themes of despair and hope, and the title track "Dead Silence" kind of talks about like the aftermath of conflict, and overall, the overall album kind of reflects on the impact of war and human experience. The artwork is amazing. You guys are talking about artwork. The artwork is done by a really well-known artist, Ken Taylor, and it has like a city submerged under the ocean, really kind of just symbolizing the consequences of violence and war and things like that. But Ken Taylor, like he's done so much work that you probably don't even realize you saw. He's done concert posters for like Goose, Metallica, and worked for like Nike and all these different bands. Like it's just, you just named something off the top of your head, you probably did it for him. You know, everything from the Stones to Bob Dylan and, you know, HBO and like movie companies and Pearl Jam, you name it. So anyway, it's a really good artwork. It's a long way to say that. But this is kind of like, I read some reviews that some people thought this was more of a refinement of their previous few albums. And, you know, they still got some of the typical choruses that play great to crowds where you can kind of chant along with it or yell along with it. Really good skilled guitar work. The guitar player, by the way, is the producer of the album. And, you know, catchy punk rock songs with satirical lyrics. And the thing about Billy Talent for me is, I think if you like one album, you'll probably like most of them, because I think they have a signature sound that really is unique, that it's easily distinguishable. Like when you hear AC/DC, you know it's AC/DC. When you hear Billy Talent, you're going to know it's Billy Talent. So just, I mean, 14 tracks, all great to listen to. It's easy to listen to. There's slower stuff, faster, harder stuff. It's even got piano. It's just an excellent album.
I've never heard of them.
Really?
I have never heard of them.
That is
And
a
they're from
rabbit hole of loveliness to go down for.
Absolutely.
Easy swallowing, you know, that
Yeah.
type of Offspring meets. The Green Day part is just maybe because of the lyrical comparison in the Tay kind of thing. I would say they are more established in that and big, because Green Day's first several albums did nothing for me because I don't know, it just because of me. But when they did American Idiot, that, you know what I mean? The bar was up here. Talent was already at around that area.
Got it.
To me anyway. So.
And they're right from Mississauga, right down the QEW.
And there is no Billy and there is no Talent, just so everybody.
I know. Well, there is talent, but.
And they are the most ridiculously hard ticket to get of all the concerts that I have tried to get a ticket for.
I've seen them a couple times, but man, I actually saw them in Niagara Falls and Buffalo, and like I've seen them a few times in some smaller venues, which was nice. But of course, I live in Florida, and they never come to Florida, so come on, let's go.
So Billy, if you're listening,
every time I have seen that they're in Buffalo, it's sold out by the time I recognize that they're here.
And where have I been? How did I not know?
I guarantee you've heard a song and didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
Probably, because I'm really bad at that. Mark will go, what's the name of the album you heard? I don't know.
Wow.
What's the name of the
If
song?
you've
I don't
listened
know.
to any Canadian rock radio at any point, in the last 10 years, you've heard a song at least.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to start with this album, Jeffrey.
No, don't start with that album.
Don't. Which one? Number 3? Okay, gosh, can't I just start somewhere? You should be happy.
I'm just trying to put it in a wheelhouse. You might as well. Hey, like this one, I'm going to tell you. If I was going to tell people where to start, this is where to start. All right? Are you craving that burning classic blues guitar riff that only Billy Gibbons can deliver? Yeah. Are you missing your ZZ Top because now they're at the bottom because they went a little pop here and there? Do you miss your Texas side to this? Do you hate that pop catchy crap they keep dropping in?
Am I in trouble?
Yep.
Well, have I got a band for you that you don't know about? Unless you're from Canada, because several 100,000 Canadians bought this particular album and many of their other ones. But let's put this is the 5th album. So wait a minute. See, this is why I say 3. I'm telling you to go to the 5th one here. But wait, we have to have that guitar ripping into something besides just blues rock or stonerism. No. How about reggae and dub? Yeah, that's in there. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Aggressive sounding, but it's toe tapping and it's air guitar worthy. Multiple times during the album, you will be there playing the guitar, even though you don't know what the hell you're doing at all. That's me. It's grooving to an entirely different, crunchy, growling guitar at the ear of an eclectic producer, a guitarist that doesn't feed on traditional whatsoever. As a matter of fact, it almost cost him his record contract.
Uh-oh.
Just so happened that they had a song, and this particular song might have even dug their own hole, so to speak.
Oh.
And the record company wanted another one. Same thing. Give it to me. He don't want to give it to him. It's not what he's about. They went to the recording studio. It was locked. They were told they couldn't go back in. They put him out in somewhere in like off the Spadina or somewhere, he was saying in an interview. So he was pissed. He was angry, and he got his, and they got in there. This is fusion blues that really doesn't care, and you better get used to it. And you will, because you won't be able to sit still. You won't have a choice. This is Gordie Johnson, and this is Big Sugar, the band that should have been as big as ZZ Top out of Canada. This is the album Heated from 1998. It is a barn burner, start to finish. And yes, there's reggae in it, and it's perfectly put. And if you get the U.S. version, Digging a Hole, which was their big single, is on the U.S. version because, well, the bastards made them put it on there. So, you can go back to Hemavision, something like that, and you can get it on there. But if you don't know Big Sugar, you should, because Gordie Johnson is what does he play, a triple handle guitar when we saw him, I think? I don't know. There's too many handles on that guitar.
So was a villain. I behaved just like a cat, but like a shot of penicillin, she cured me of all that. She's a healthy dose of heaven for a man that's hooked on sin. Let the job begin. Get used to it.
It was crazy.
Wow.
Anyway,
Wow. His name is Gordie. You got to
Gordie
have
Johnson.
at least Gordie.
Yes. And if you get into him that much, you can also go Grady, because he has a band called Grady, Grady.
Oh, there's a gravy.
No, Grady, D.
Okay.
No V, no gravy, because we already
I think
know
I'm
what they
hungry.
put the gravy on. That's a whole nother album. Watch the country special, the country band. That's what was that panelist's favorite country? Go to that one.
Yeah, go to that one.
It's all in the name. Okay, I scared Jeff. He's crying over there. All right. Well, I'll thank the panelists as I always do for this. These are fun, especially on a Canada Day. We could talk Canada all. That's you know what? I would do an entire Canada called Beyond Your Canada, radio, and I don't know. They probably wouldn't watch it because they all know all Canada knows it already.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, you're gonna talk about that. I already know that, jackass. Shut up. All right. So thank them again. Yeah, I did that. Okay. So we're on the web at beyondyourradio.com if you haven't gone there. There's articles, there's videos, there's podcasts coming soon because I haven't done the podcast yet. It's all about albums, bands, artists, anything we get our hands on. Even Billy Talent, Timber. What else we talk? Trues, Civilianaire. What else? Steppenwolf. Yeah, and not the villain from Superman. Go Beyond Your Radio with us, a real music appreciation channel. Thanks for watching and happy listening.
Bye.